Did you see what I just seen?
I reckon I did.
Reckon what it was, a deer?
More like a human to me. Let's go see.
Look out, Mr. Rock! Sure wasn't no deer. More like a two-legged wildcat, I'd say.
Who are you? What tribe you from?
Ain't much of a talker neither, is she?
Now, hold on there. What's the matter with you? Look, we're not trying to harm you. We'd like to help you if you'd give us a chance.
Mr. Rock, there's something matter in this arm.
It doesn't seem to be broken. That sure is limp.
Poor little old thing. Running around way out here without hardly nothing on at all. One arm that don't even work. Don't want to talk, just fight. Reckon what it's all about, Mr. Rock.
I don't know. Let's see if we can find out. Come on.
What do you make of it, Doc?
I don't know. It's a little strange, isn't it?
I beg your pardon, sir. But I was informed that lodgings could be obtained about this establishment. Would you say I was correctly informed?
I believe you were, sir.
Thank you. I'll be a guest in your fair city for several days. And I trust that before I leave, many of you will become my personal friends.
Would you mind telling us who you are, sir?
Not at all. I'm Professor King. These, perhaps, will explain my purpose.
Tiny?
I ain't courting, Doc. I'm trying to keep her from getting away. Tell you, I just entangled with a nest of bumblebees.
Where did you find her, anyway?
Out along the road. Don't know nothing about her except that she got a limp arm, and she sure does like to fight.
Yeah, she can't seem to use that arm, Doc.
Well, let's take her inside, and I'll see if I can figure out what's the matter with her.
Hey, has Wayne left for Tulsa yet?
Early this morning.
Oh, good. Then he won't mind us using that jail for a while. Bring her on in, Tiny, if you can.
Hurry up with them keys, Mr. Rock. This little gal's about to peel my shins. Ow! Ow!
Well, what it means, I guess the first thing we'd better do is get some extra blankets and whatever else you might need to make you comfortable.
Comfortable?
Yeah, you can use the other cell over there.
Me in jail?
Well, you did promise to look after her, didn't you?
Well, sure I did, but I figured on sleeping at home like any decent woman. Not in jail like a common criminal.
Not like a common criminal, like a deputy sheriff.
A woman deputy?
Yeah. Now, it wouldn't do to have a man watching a girl that looks like that. Now, would it?
No, I reckon it wouldn't.
Besides, it'll give you a right to keep these curious people from bothering her. Maybe you'd better pin that on yourself.
Hurry up, Doc.
Just take it easy. Just a little while longer.
Sure would like to know what makes that little critter so ornery. Go!
Move over, Sonny. I'll have her eaten out of my hand before sundown.
If you do, you better count your fingers. Woman sheriff.
Something you don't like about it?
Well, it sets a bad example, letting a woman do a man's job. Next thing you know, you'll be wanting to vote.
Matt, that girl's arm looked perfectly healthy to me. There isn't a sign of an injury of any kind.
There's nothing you can do for her, huh?
I don't know what it'd be. You know, the thing that puzzles me more than anything is the fact that it couldn't have been in that condition very long, or the muscles in the arm would have shriveled up from lack of use.
Well, if we could get her to talk, maybe she could tell us something about it.
Well, if you do, let me know. I'll look in on her again tomorrow.
Sure.
Oh, by the way, we've another strange visitor stopping at the saloon.
Professor King.
Now, we don't want charlatans like that in Cimarron City.
Well, as long as he doesn't break any laws, he's got his rights.
The right to fool the people?
To fool all the fools in the territory that want to be fooled. Besides, it says it's free here.
Well, remember, there is such a thing as a poor, innocent fool. Shouldn't a person like that be protected?
Sure. Maybe we ought to go to his opening demonstration, see for ourselves.
In the presence of perceptual configurations, you must forget. Oh, forget all your organic activities and deliver yourself into the soft, silent domain of the world of spirits, the only true world, in which is all that has gone before you and all that is yet to come, until eternity passes beyond all eternities. I address thee, O astral body, and beseech thee to summon up the voice of Susan Perry's long-departed half-brother. Since she is a willing soul and a believer in the astral world, let him speak to her, I beg you.
Who asks for me? Who calls me from my rest?
I do.
And who are you?
Susan Perry.
I am your half-brother, Ephraim.
Susan! Lights, please. She'll be all right.
How is she, Doctor?
She'll be all right. She just fainted.
It happens quite often. The shock of passing into the unknown and meeting loved ones again. No harm will come to her.
Did you hear it? Did you hear it yourself?
We all heard it, Susan.
Oh, imagine my own dead half-brother Eduard.
I thought he said Ephraim.
Oh, no, he never liked the name Ephraim, so he changed it to Eduard.
Did you or anyone else tell the professor of the change of name?
Oh, no, that's what made it all so goose-pimply. I'm gonna faint.
Oh, honey.
Could you get her some water, please? Would you mind getting her some water, please?
Hans can't hear you. He's a deaf mute.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, can we have another séance soon, Professor King?
Of course, my dear lady, as often as you wish.
Come on, honey, let's get going.
You think I'm a fraud,
I didn't say that.
but you came to my seance tonight to expose me.
Well, let us just say that I was curious. And it was open to the public.
Well, after what you've seen, are you still curious or even more cynical?
Frankly, I'm waiting for you to start charging fees for some unusual service.
You're wasting your time. There are no fees, nor do I accept gratuities of any kind.
Then why? What are you after?
Truth, but not material truth. The truth with which I can serve mankind best. And speaking of service, I've heard about the little Indian girl you have in jail. I think I could help you with her.
How?
Well, you've just seen me cause the dead to speak. Is it not reasonable that I could make contact with a living person?
I don't know.
I'm a gifted human, Mr. Rockford. I know not why, nor do I question it. I only use my special gift to serve mankind. But if there's the slightest chance I can help this unfortunate girl, surely you'll not stand in the way.
What do you think, Doc?
I'd like to be present.
Tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock, we'll meet you at the jail.
As you wish.
Tiny? Oh, Professor, with all your special powers, how come you weren't able to help him?
I do not perform black magic, Mr. Mayor. Hans was born deaf and with no vocal cords.
Oh. I will see you tomorrow.
Carey was
I will try to accommodate all of you. But now I must rest. Communicating with the dead can be very tiring. So, if you'll be good enough to excuse me.
Oh, I can't understand how he does
Good night. You were very good tonight, Hans. Your cheesecloth poltergeist and your astral voice impressed everyone, I think. Even the mayor and his friend the doctor seem less dubious.
Are they on your list by any chance?
Yes, the mayor is one of them. The son of Matthew Rockford Sr.
Maybe you ought to kill him before any of the others. He just might give you trouble.
His time will come in the proper place. I think I'd like to see him become a believer before he dies.
If you ask me, no good can come of letting that Professor King stay here in town and get folks all riled up about talking to their dead relatives. As a man of science, I can tell you that I have no faith whatever in soothsayers, especially those who claim to be gifted with mysterious powers. Here, finish this. Why, the way he got poor Susan Perry worked up by making her think she was talking to her dead brother Eddie, it was a crime.
I don't know much about these things, Doc. I can't help but wonder why that ghost of her brother, or whatever it was, called himself Ephraim.
Well, that was easy. Professor probably knew that Susan was coming to the meeting last night, and he asked somebody about her relative.
I can't think of anybody that would tell him. You know, as far back as I could remember, he was always called Ed. How far back do your records go, Doc?
Well, including the records I inherited from old Doc Coons when I replaced him here, why, they must be as old as this town, I guess. That family name was Trenton. Let's see. Yeah. Street, trim. Trenton. Here we are. Edward Trenton. Treated for severe multiple abrasions about the head and face at the age of 9. Dr. Coons has made a note here. Injuries received at the hands of playmate Carl Jensen.
That's what I call a real nice playmate. Say, if that Carl Jensen feller's still around, he might know something about him being called Ephraim, shouldn't he?
Oh, I never heard of anybody around here by that name. Have you, Matt?
Carl Jensen? No, he must have moved out of here a long time ago.
Well, what about Miss Perry's family? Any of them still around?
No, they've been dead for years. You know, I doubt if there's anybody in this town outside of Susan Perry herself, or maybe Silas, that would ever remember when Ed Trenton was known as Ephraim. And even if there was, how could Professor King, a total stranger, have dug up that information so fast? He'd been here less than 24 hours.
Mr. Rock, I think you're right. And if you are, that can mean only one thing. That professor feller was telling the truth when he said he has possessed all them special powers.
Now, we'll find out how gifted he is when we find he doesn't get any further with that Indian girl than the rest of us did.
Yeah, maybe she'll pull out all of his hair like she did old Indian Charlie's this morning when he was trying to use them Indian languages on her.
Well, we'll know pretty soon.
afternoon, madam.
Something I can do for you?
Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Professor King. Perhaps you've heard of me.
Oh, sure, I've heard of you. Why, the whole town's talking about the wonderful thing you did for Susan Perry at the hall last night.
I'm only too glad to be of service to humanity.
Well, I'm mighty proud to make your acquaintance. My name's Camille Means. Everybody calls me the Widow Means.
Oh, your husband is deceased.
12 years. God rest his soul. I've been alone all this time, because I never did find anyone as good as George.
Now, what a shame. You know, when loved ones leave this earth, most people believe they lose all contact with him.
Say, do you suppose you could bring George back so I could talk to him?
Of course, my dear lady.
Well, there's something I'd like to ask him. You see, before George died, he sold a big piece of land to some Eastern fella. I never been paid for that land, and I don't even know what the Eastern fella's name was.
Why, you poor woman. Now, what a pity I didn't visit your fair city before this.
You mean you could help me now?
I most certainly could. I came to the jail at the request of your mayor and good doctor to see what I could do for that poor unfortunate girl over there. But since I'm early for my appointment, I do think I have time to perform this service for you.
Well, I'd sure be mighty obliged to you. How do we go about it?
Well, it will take the deepest concentration on your part. And this can best be accomplished if you will look deeply into the stone I'm wearing.
My, it sure does sparkle.
Look deeply into the stone. Do not take your eyes from it. Look deeply into the stone. Deeply, deeply. Your eyes are getting tired. Very tired. Your lids are getting heavy. Heavier, heavier. You cannot help yourself. You will close your eyes. You are very sleepy. When I count 3, you will be fast asleep. 1, 2, 3. Now, Widow Means, I will take you by the hand and walk you back to your cot. You will lie down and continue your sleep. You will not awaken until you hear me speak your name. When you do awake, you will remember nothing of this, nor of our meeting. All you will remember is that you've gone to sleep for an hour and that you've never met me or my friend. Now, I will walk you back to your cot.
She was an easy subject.
Most people are if they're first convinced I possess mystic powers. And when the word spreads of the miracle I will perform on our little friend here, Cimarron City will become a town full of believers. Numa. Come here, Numa. Now, let's see how well you remember my instructions. Raise your left arm. Try harder. That's enough. It hasn't worn off, Hans. She's still one of the best subjects I've ever had.
Don't you think you'd better bring her out of it now? The mayor and that doc should be here any minute.
Hans, please. Numa, when I snap my fingers, you will awaken. And when you are awake, your left arm will no longer hang limply at your side. You will have full use of both your arms. You will not be hostile towards people who are around you. They are your friends. You will speak to them freely. And you will tell them the story we've rehearsed so often. I'll bring you out of it now.
What are you doing in here?
We had an appointment here for 3 o'clock, don't you remember?
A little early, aren't you?
Yes, I suppose we were.
How'd you get in this cell?
The keys were on the desks.
Mr. Rock, looks like the widow means so to want to sleep on the job.
Yes, that's quite true. The widow Means was asleep when we got here. We didn't want to disturb her.
What's all the hullabaloo? What's going on around here, Mr. Rockford?
Everything's all right, Widow Means. These men must have come in when you were asleep.
Yeah, I guess I did take me a little nap for about an hour. The girl, is she all right?
I can answer that for you, madam.
Who are you?
Professor King.
Oh, sure, I've heard of you.
About the young lady. I've talked to her, and she to me.
You what?
Her name is Numa. The poor child carried a heavy burden in her heart. But once I told her I was her friend, she unloaded her burden to me. So now she's relieved of her affliction, both physical and mental. So, if you will excuse me, I'm very tired.
What my friend tell you is true. I am called Numa. I am sorry for trouble I have caused you, but I'm most grateful for your kindness. My friend told me that you are also my friends.
Did you see that, Mr. Rock? She moved that left arm. It ain't hanging up no more.
Yeah.
It's a miracle. That Professor King sure is a miracle worker.
My father was bad man. Beat me many times. Forced me to marry warrior. Husband beat me too. When husband die, Numa run away. Live in forest with animals. Please, Numa not want to go back to father. Not want to live with tribe. Want to stay here. With friends.
Of course you don't have to go back, honey. As long as I've got a house, you've got a home.
You are a good woman.
Any objections, Mr. Mayor?
No, I think it's a wonderful idea. And I think you're a pretty wonderful woman, Widow Means.
Go on with you. Come on, honey, let's get out of here before they change their minds about paroling us. First thing I'm going to do is get you into some decent clothes. Oh. Matt? The job's too tame. I quit. Come on, honey.
Trouble getting her?
No. She told the widow Means she was going to take a walk in the woods. All the old lady said was, "Don't tear your new dress." We came up the back way. Nobody saw us.
I want you to bring someone to me. Hans will show you where you can find him and where to meet me. You will tell him that my supernatural powers have told me that the abandoned mine on his property is rich in silver ore. Tell him I will show him where the vein is. The man you are to bring to me is named Scott. Once you have completed this, you will forget what you have done and return to the Widow Means' house. See the earth rise within this emptiness below, forming a new mound. It will be a mound of pure silver ore, and it will be solid, filling the shaft, bridging it from side to side. You will stand here for 15 minutes after I'm gone. Then you will see the silver ore push the earth to the top of the shaft. When it is flush with the surface of the ground, you will walk across it. You will walk across a mound of silver ore, and it will be yours. Now look into the shaft. Do not take your eyes from it. I'm leaving you. 15 minutes from now, you will see what you have longed to see.
I see it. A mound of pure silver. Rising. Higher and higher.
Numa, the name of the man you will bring to me now is Jake Walker. Jake Walker, I want you to relax. Let your mind drift backward in time. Back to the time you were a young man. Just let your mind wander freely. Back 10 years, 20 years, back 30 years, 35 years. You're a young man. You live on a farm with your wife. You remember your wife, Jake Walker? What was her name?
Francis?
You see her now?
Yeah. I see her.
Where is she?
In the kitchen. She's baking bread.
You love her, don't you, Jake?
Yes. I love her very much.
But later. She's not in the kitchen now, is she, Jake?
Later?
Go forward in time. Try to see your kitchen and her not being there. Do you see her, Jake?
No. She's not there. The kitchen's empty.
Why is she not there? Where is she, Jake? What happened to Frances?
She's gone away with another man. She's left me.
Do you see her again, Jake? Try hard. Try to see Frances again. Do you see Frances?
She's dead. She's taken her own life.
Why?
She went with him against her will. He forced her.
Who did it, Jake? Who caused your wife's death?
Tor Jensen.
What must you now do to Tor Jensen?
Kill him. I must kill him.
Yes, Jake. You must kill Tor Jensen. You must kill him now.
I can't see him.
You will see him. I will take you to him. And you will kill him.
Well, Jake Walker, what brings you out this time of night? Come on in.
My wife is dead. You made her destroy herself. You killed her.
Jake, what's the matter with you?
I'm gonna kill you, Tor Jensen.
Tor Jensen? I'm David Alexander. You know me, Jake. I never heard of Tor Jensen.
Where's the little boy? Where's the little boy who cries and swears to avenge his father's death? Where's the boy, Carl Jensen?
David!
No, this is wrong. You don't belong here. Where's the little boy, Carl Jensen? Where's the boy, Carl Jensen? Where is he?
The boy you are looking for is here, Jake Walker.
Here? I can't see him.
Look at me, Jake. Look at me and you will see Carl Jensen. I am the boy who swore vengeance on you 35 years ago.
No. You're confusing me.
This time the jury will pronounce you guilty. This time they will not set you free because you killed David Alexander for no reason. This time they will want to see you hanged. But you will not hang, Jake Walker. Because you will be in your grave before you are dead.
Oh.
Jake Walker, Doc.
Put him over there. What's the matter with him?
I don't know. We found him on the floor of his shack just like this. Didn't seem to be injured in any way. So we thought we'd bring him over here as fast as we could on a chance that it might not be too late.
Can't you hear nothing, Doc? What's that?
Well, if there's the slightest breathing, it'll vaporize on the mirror. I guess his heart must have failed.
We thought maybe you might have took poison or something like that.
Jake Walker? I hardly think so. He enjoyed life too much.
Chances are he wasn't going to live very much longer anyway, Doc. Mrs. Dave Alexander told me this morning that Jake shot and killed her husband last night.
He what?
Tiny and I went out to bring Jake in, and that's how we happened to find him.
Oh, why did he do a thing like that? What did he have against Dave?
I don't know. Dave's wife didn't know either.
She did say that old Jake here told her she ought not to be there. She didn't know what he meant by that. Thought maybe he might have been drinking or maybe he was a little touched.
Now, folks thought old Jason Scott was drunk, too, and they found him dead in the bottom of his mine shaft. But I've never known he nor Jake to take a drink as long as I've lived around here.
Yeah, me neither.
How old was he, Matt?
Jake?
Yeah.
I guess he was in his 60s. What did you write down there? Died of natural causes. How can you be sure, Doc?
Well, I can't, but I can always change the death certificate.
Doc, is that you? Mr. Rock!
Tiny, what in blazes is the matter with you?
Put that sheet back on Jake.
You tell him to put it back on himself. He's the one that took it off.
What?
He's still alive, but he don't know the rules for being dead.
Strange. There it is.
Heartbeat?
Strong one. Why, he's asleep.
How can a man be dead if he isn't dead?
I never made a mistake like that in my life.
He wasn't breathing, Doc. I saw the mirror myself when you held it up to his face. How can a man stay alive if he doesn't breathe?
Well, he can't. Unless maybe he's one of those East Indian fakers.
Well, what do they do?
Oh, I don't know. Put themselves in some kind of a trance, I guess. Through a mental control practice from childhood, they're able to slow down the life process of the body to such an extent as to be almost a hair's breadth away from death.
Is that a fact?
Yes. They can slow down the actual heartbeat so much that it doesn't produce a discernible pulse. Therefore, the oxygen requirement is so low and so minute that it makes breathing hardly necessary.
Then if a doctor examines them, they could appear almost as dead as Jake did.
That's right. But Jake isn't an East Indian faker.
Well, then how do you suppose he got in this condition? Black magic?
Do you know what you just said?
I know what I meant.
It never occurred to me that a student of mesmerism might be way out here in Oklahoma territory.
Well, where might one of them student fellers be likely to turn up, Doc?
In Europe, where Franz Mesmer practiced the art of controlling other people's minds and actions. I don't know too much about it, of course, except what I've read in a few medical journals, but some of Mesmer's experiments were pretty spectacular, especially those in Vienna and Paris. Although not any more so, I would say, than some of the unexplainable things that have been happening around here since Professor King came to town.
You mean to say that Professor King is the cause of old Jake being the shape he's in?
I can't think of any other reason for it.
And I can't think of any other reason for Jake to kill Dave Alexander. You know, I don't know whether it's even possible or not. For one man to make another one kill. But there's something about this Professor King that makes it mighty easy for me to believe he'd try.
But why?
Well, that ought to be easy enough to find out. Just wake up old Jake here and ask him.
No. It might be dangerous. Let him sleep and wake up naturally.
Well, I'm not going to be waiting.
Where you going, Mr. Rock?
Until we find out what this Professor King is up to, I'm going to put him out of circulation. On suspicion of murder.
The name of the man you are to bring to me is Duncan. You will tell him that... Numa, you will forget everything I've just told you. You've come here to visit me as a friend, that's all.
Numa, what are you doing here?
I've come to see my good friend.
Yes. You'd better run along home now, my dear. We have business with the mayor.
That's right, Professor. We do have business.
What kind of business, Mr. Rockford?
I believe it's called mesmerism.
I don't think I know what you mean, sir.
Oh, I think you do. I think you know all about mesmerism. How it's used to make some people seem dead, cure paralyzed arms, even to get one man to shoot another.
Why talk in riddles, Mr. Mayor? If you have something to say, why not say it?
All right, I will. You're both under arrest.
Oh? You intend to incarcerate us, I presume. Has it occurred to you that such a move might prove unpopular with your townspeople?
Yes, it's occurred to me. Let's go.
In an open contest, you might find out that your followers are helplessly outnumbered by mine. That, in fact, Cimarron City is more mine than yours.
They'll change their mind.
That's what they might change yours when they find out you've taken me prisoner.
The only way they'll find out is if you do something to make me draw my gun and have to use it. You lock that door after me and don't let anybody in.
Mr. Rock, what if he tries to work some of that black magic on me? You'll have to make me unlock that cell door or something.
Not if I have the keys. And you stay away from there. Even if he acts like he's going to try something, you just stick your head out of that door and holler for me. I'll be over in the doc's office.
Yes, sir. I ain't taking my eyes off of you two. Not for 1 minute, I ain't.
As you wish, my friend. As you wish.
I wish I could help you, fellas, but I sure don't remember having any private session with Professor King. Fact is, only place I ever seen him was the day he pulled in town.
Now, getting back to Dave Alexander, Jake, we all know that you and he were the best of friends.
The very best. Fine boy, Dave. And knew his pappy, too. Why?
We're not getting any place.
Well, he's made him forget everything, except he went to sleep last night and didn't wake up until just now.
You talking about me?
Yeah, Jake, we've got a big problem. We were hoping you could help us with it.
Ah, that's why you drugged me in here while I was asleep?
Oh, no, that's part of it. We haven't got much to go on, Jake, but we'll tell you everything we know. With the hope that something will make you remember what you forgot.
Well, I ain't forgot nothing that I can think of.
When you awaken, you will possess the strength of 10 men. You will use that strength to separate the bars of this cell so that we who are falsely accused might be set free. Now, wait.
I'd better add my strength to his.
There's no need. With all his energy pinpointed to a single purpose, his power will be superhuman. Just watch. Listen to me, Tiny. I'm going to tell you the truth about Matt Rockford. He's the one who's working black magic on innocent people. He must be punished. You must punish him.
I don't know. Maybe I didn't have no dreams while I was sleeping after all, but it was just a kind of a feeling I had when I woke up a while ago, like I'd been dreaming real hard about something, but I can't remember a thing more than that.
Did you dream about killing a man, Jake?
Not that I know of.
Did you ever kill a man? Shoot him?
How come you ask a question like that?
Did you?
I tried to forget it a long time ago. I was hoping everybody else had.
A long time ago? Who did you kill?
He had it coming to him.
Dave Alexander?
Of course not. A fella named Jensen.
Why, that's the name we found in my files.
Carl Jensen. Yeah, that's the little boy that beat up Edward Trenton.
Carl Jensen. That was the son of the man I killed. I killed Tor Jensen. I shot him dead because he killed my wife. He opened the door, and I shot him, and he fell down on the floor. Dave Alexander was lying dead on the floor. And the boy, Carl, was supposed to cry and swear revenge on the man who killed his father, but I couldn't see him. I could only see Dave's wife screaming and calling David. But it was Tor Jensen I killed, and she didn't belong there. It was wrong of her to be there. And it was wrong of Professor King to say he was Carl Jensen, who had returned for vengeance, because Carl was just a boy. And the professor said the jury wouldn't set me free this time, but they wouldn't hang me, because I'd be in my grave before I was dead. Oh, I'm so confused.
Jake. No, Jake. Take it easy, Jake. Rest.
Doc, am I going out of my mind?
No, Jake, you're just temporarily confused by what you remember as fact and what's been planted in your mind. Everything will assume its natural place and time.
You've been a big help, Jake. You've told us just about everything we want to know. Now I'm beginning to wonder if Professor King had anything to do with Jason Scott's death.
Jason? Dead?
Yeah. He fell down that old mine shaft out at his place.
Poor old Jason. He was my best friend, you know. Yeah. Ever since he was foreman on the jury that tried me for shooting Tor Jensen.
Jury here in Cimarron City?
Well, not exactly. It was before your daddy decided to build this town. Before your time. It wasn't even a real jury. Legal, I mean. Just a bunch of ranchers making their own brand of law. Your daddy was on that jury, too.
What about Dave Alexander's father?
Jess? Yeah. Come to think of it, he was there.
There it is, Doc. Carl Jensen's revenge on the man who killed his father. And the jury members who set Jake free. Or their descendants. Like Dave.
Well, that means you're on the professor's list, too, Matt.
Yeah, but he can forget that. I've got him locked up.
I did it. I killed Dave. I remember. I shot him in cold blood. He made me do it. He made me shoot my friend. I'll kill it. Let me go. I'll give it to you. Let me go. Jake.
I'm afraid there's no mistake this time.
Mr. Rockford!
What's wrong, Tiny? Who did this?
I did, Mr. Rock.
You what?
Stay as innocent. You're the guilty one. You killed Dave Alexander and Jay Scott with your black magic, and I gotta punish you for it, Mr. Rock. Gotta punish you, Mr. Rock.
Stand back, Tiny.
Stand back! Try to get away, Mr. Rock. I got the strength of 10 men. Shouldn't shouldn't all have done them things, Mr. Rock. I don't like to have to punish you like this.
Listen, Tiny.
What are you trying to do, Mr. Rock? Drown me or something?
Are you all right, Tiny?
I'm wet. How'd I get out here anyhow?
We'd better get back inside before the wrong person sees us.
Who would that be?
Somebody who wants to see me dead. Better they think that I am.
My dear ladies, how nice to see you.
Well, howdy there, Professor.
Numa always very happy to see great friend.
Say, you know I've been wanting to see you about talking to my dead husband, George. There's something I want to tell him.
I'd like you to tell me about an old lead mine.
I've had a
that cleared
terrible
out.
pain in my back for years.
Can you tell fortunes?
My friends, my dear friends, there will be time for all of you.
I know it takes time, but now
Just
my
at this
problem.
moment, my back is the most important.
Oh, shut up!
Oh, Mama.
Now, as I understand you.
What are you doing out of jail?
Jail? My dear doctor, whatever would I be doing in jail?
All right, just stay right where you are until we get to the bottom of this thing.
You gone out of your mind, Doc?
This man's a criminal. You're not to listen to him any longer.
A criminal? After what he did for this poor girl?
Professor King is a good man. My great friend.
What's the matter with you? Is he taking too much of your business away?
You're making a fool of yourself, Doc Hodges. Professor King's a great man. A healer. He's done wonderful things for people.
You better put that gun away before these people attack you.
I'm telling you the truth. He caused the death of Dave Alexander, Jason Scott, and Jake Walker. This man is a murderer.
You got what you deserved, you old pill pusher.
Mr. Rock, maybe we ought to just tear into them two right now.
Now they wouldn't believe us any more than they do the doctor. You do exactly what I told you. Have you got it?
Whatever you say, Mr. Rock.
All right, good. Let's go.
You've all been taken in by a charlatan. Now listen to me, all of you.
Professor King! Professor King! I have obeyed your orders, O Master.
Orders?
Yes, O Master. I have killed Mr. Rockford, just like you told me to. Now I'm ready to kill anybody else you won't kill.
I gave you no such orders.
Sure you did. When I let you out of jail.
I'll not be accused in this manner.
I was hoping you'd try that.
That's far enough, Carl Jensen. Easy there now, easy.
He was an evil man. He made me do bad things. He made me lie to all of you. I not marry warrior like he say. My father sold me to him. He made me slave.
Mr. Rock, think that Professor King feller's good at that black magic. Let's get a load of this here. I just learned a deaf moot feller how to hear and talk. Say it again. I said say it again.
Uncle.
I'm also available for private appointments.